Hello and welcome back to this little inventory demo and activatable tutorial from Valhalla Game Dev. Last time we refactored some things, so we are now checking if we are colliding with something via a line trace, and this time we want to actually re-implement our interaction between an item which we hit, so we can add it to our inventory. So for this one we want to go into the player third-person character class, and here we have our not implemented input action interaction. When we do our line trace every tick, we check what in the world we are hitting with, so we are then able to highlight some items or print the text we hit on screen and some stuff. And in order to actually interact with something, we need another line trace, which is basically the same line trace we do here, so we can reuse this in our interaction event. For this I want to rename this function here without the onTick, because now we use this function within the tick, but also when we are doing our input. So it doesn't make sense to have a function named doLineTraceOnTick, which is, and when we call it here, it doesn't make sense. Okay, so here we are and doing the line trace, and what did we do here? Okay, so we are setting up our vectors and our line trace, and for each object we hit, we actually print the name of the object on screen. So what we are gonna do here is we give our function a return value with the out hit result. So we don't want to call this interact within this function, because it would call the interaction event even if we are ticking and not pressing the E key. So we just want to return that value here. And where is the return node? Here, which is not of kind boolean, but it is a hit result structure. Hit result structure, and I guess it should be fine if we just say out hit result and return that one here. Okay, could not find a parameter of doLineTrace. Okay, I should think. Okay, it doesn't update it itself automatically, so I just re-add those two functions here. So on the event tick, we won't do anything with the hit result, so I don't care about the output value. But in here, when we press the E key, we want to get the hit result, break it, and oh no, I don't like to do too many stuff inside the event graph. I just give us another function and start interaction, and give it a hit result in hit result, and simply call that function here. And go into start interaction. So let's first check if we actually hit an actor by checking is valid. Branch. Then if we hit something and the object is valid, we try to call interact from iActivatable. The instigator is ourself, our pawn. I just want to I just was not sure what this temp, but it was for that the interface method will show up in the event in the function graph here. So that's why I called it Boolean. That's why I set up a return value of Boolean. But I already said that in the past video. Yeah. So I guess now when we are hitting our item, and I think it doesn't show the text on screen since we haven't re-implemented that as well. Here it's not showing, but when I hit E, I add my item to my inventory. Okay. So now we are able to add our item to the inventory. Now I want to do this activation. So if we are colliding with something, that we are printing the name of the item we collide, and what we can do with it is via the activatable interface. So back to the third person character, and what have I done here? I just was some time back. Event tick, do line trace, and yeah, sure. Oh, okay. We actually need that value here. It's good we have it. And highlight or on line on tick line trace result. Maybe I will rename it later, but actually I want to say if we are within our tick, if we are hitting something, we want to display the activatable tooltip text on our screen. And of course this will get a hit result as well. And in hit result, event tick on hit result event, do line trace. Yeah, this should work. On line trace result, so the same as in the start interaction function, we want to break the hit result, get the actor, check if it's valid, is valid. You can also use a macro with if valid. I mean this one here is valid, which is basically the same, but instead of the Boolean return value, it has two execution values which it returns. So we can have a look inside here. It does really the same like we. So there's really no reason why I should use this or the other. You have to get that yourself. So, but I usually like this one more. And so shouldn't have any impact on performance or whatever. Okay, so if the object is valid, then I want to get the object and say get activation tooltip message. And yeah, what was it? I just want to remind myself of how I did the access and the player controller create game HUD. Here we are on pawn overlap. I called it on pawn overlap. Get activation tooltip text. So this function here does do already this stuff I just wanted to do inside the player character, so we get rid of this inside the player character just in a moment. And basically we want to call this function here, on pawn overlap, and on pawn overlap. Shall we rename it on pawn line trace result? Okay. So we are already checking here if the incoming activatable object is valid, so we can get rid of that inside our player character class as well, or we remove it here and do it inside the player contractor. So if it's not valid, we don't need to actually call this function here. Yeah, let's do that here. No, we need it, because if we are not hitting with something, we want to delete our current activation tooltip text on screen. So let's just leave it here. Okay. Third person character. We don't need to call is valid, but we want to get our owner, or owning. Was it owning? Get player control. No, I don't want to get that. I want to get the controller of this pawn here. Get controller. Target this pawn. Get the controller of this actor. Yeah, that's what I want to have, and I want to cast it to our player controller blueprint. Yeah, that's right. And just align it. Looks better now. Maybe you disagree, but I don't care. Okay, and then we want to call these on pawn line trace result. Yes, that's what I want to call now, and I want to give it the activatable actor. If it is, we don't know yet, okay? But if it is we will call this activation tooltip text. Okay. Let's check if we actually call that. Yeah. So now if I hit the item, it should display the name on the screen. Yeah, test. I call it test. Test item, just to make sure. So, oh, I hit an item. Okay, but it should be good for now. Okay, now we are able to print it on screen and add it to our inventory. Okay, now we want to finally set up our inventory game art widget. Yeah, let's just call it inventory widget. The inventory widget will have let's just create a new folder here. Let's call it inventory. Let's move it in here, and let's create another folder, set sub inventory. Basically that means each widget I will use inside the inventory widget will be moved in here. And yeah, you can just choose what kind, how you want to display your inventory of a character on screen. So maybe you want to do it like this. You want to say you will have some kind of inventory slot, which, let me just check of what I mean. Inventory slot. Moment. yeah, just whoop. So I hope you see that now. What I mean is some kind of this kind of inventory. Basically, this would be a slot which displays the image of an item. I guess this was World of Warcraft, yes, but there are different kind of inventory systems, as you all know. Maybe if you remember Skyrim's way of displaying inventories, it would be just a list of text, and on the left side here, just a list of items, and if you select an item, you will see the 3D representation inside the right window. I guess that was a kind of way Skyrim was doing it, and Oblivion as well. I don't care. Okay, let's go inside the inventory slot widget. For all sub-widgets I usually do, I will remove the canvas panel because I don't need a panel here. I just want to define how a widget would look which is used inside another panel, basically our inventory widget. So our inventory slot would have, what can we do within slot? Here we can click on it, so it will have a button and an image. A button and an image. So we have a single child and an image. I just think about it how we actually set up. A button has a single child and is clickable. So the single child would be a maybe a border, and this border would have, oh no, sorry, let's do it in. We will give our button then a panel and an overlay, and the first, so on the lowest Z order would be an image, which is basically the background. Or do we have an image here? I don't know quite. I'm not quite sure here. Style. Okay, here we can set up an image as well. So we basically don't need that. But so we need the button, we need the style, and we want to change it to an image. Let's sure, it's not working here. Do we need something more? We don't want to display the text for my kind of inventory image. Yeah, let's just leave it like this here. And okay. Now we need to check which kind of, I guess our button would have a variable which would be an item image, right? I just want to prevent, I don't think a button should really need a reference to the actual item. It just displays an image, and maybe it stores the index, which is basically the position of the item inside the character array. So we only need the image we want to display inside the button, and we want to get the item index. So when we are doing something with the item, for example, we want to drop that image outside of our inventory, which means we drop it back into the world, for example. And we want to tell that our character that the item at index blah 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 has been dropped off. So we need to remove the item out of the inventory and update the image here. It's basically set it to null. Okay. Let's check. We want to get an image. Yes, it's a reference, whatever. And this is private, yeah, that's okay. And what we want to is we want to be able to set item image. This will be a longer video because I think it's better if we are doing it in one row in one round here. I just missed the word I wanted to say, so sorry guys for this. But set item image gets an input which is basically an image. So in image, this is just my conventions, calling input params with the prefix of in, and output params with without. But you can do it like you want to. Okay, and what we want is set the item image, and let's just check it. Yeah, this one won't alter our actual item we are displaying here. What we want to is we need to set this image here. Okay, on clicked, on pressed, on blah blah. Yeah, let's just check if it's working like I'm doing it now. For this one I want to get the actual button, get the style, get style, and want to set members and button style. Let's see if this is working. And yeah, what I want to actually I can only struct out. No, this is not what I want to. Or is it what I want to? Let's just see. What is it? Let's make a slate brush. Yeah. Oh, okay. I just use the normal appearance of the button now. What bothers me is that I can't bind in other widgets you are able to bind the image, but it seems it's not working here as well. Okay. Draws image, and we want to get the image here. I don't care about the other stuff here. Okay. Yeah, can we actually test it? No. With this I'm able to set the image if there's an image, but if it's not an image, it will be I hope it will be cleaned up and I won't see any image. Yeah, let's just leave it like this here. Okay, now we have an inventory slot and we have an inventory widget where we are going in now. So this inventory widget, won't we have a canvas panel? I don't mind, it's okay now. So we want a horizontal box, place it somewhere. Wow. Okay. I want these just here, whatever. And I want to anchor it at the bottom, but it should not stretch. I want it right here. Okay. Yeah, we can predefine some slots now. Oop. Whip. 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 Okay. Fill, 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 fill. Let's get some padding here so we should be able to see some kind of space between the buttons. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's it. We will see if I do any errors later when I want to test that. Okay, let's get back into the UI inside the game HUD. And yeah, now you can do it in any kind of ways, but it's just easier to do it now here like this. And oh, that's not right. Why is it so small? Oh, sure. This has a panel, but I just want to have. This is just. I don't want it to be a panel, and we could do this in multiple ways. Now we could either we could set these to fill. I guess it would result in what I actually want to have back into the game HUD. No, it's not. Okay. Okay, let's get rid of the panel, which is interfering with our desired output. How can I get replaced with horizontal box? Horizontal box, yeah, and just replace our items here. Inventory slot. Actually, let's give our slots a name. Should be slot 0, slot 1, slot 0, slot 1, slot 2, slot 3. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's what I want to have. Okay. In that, you don't have to think about the actual representation in here, which is this small dot, but the actual representation will be computed inside our game HUD. Hopefully, let's check that out. And yeah. Oh yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to. So now we have some 4 slots where we can actually set our items we want to display. Okay, let's check how we want to do this. So this is hidden by default, or oh no, this is another part. I think it's just fine like this. So now we should be able to see that. Usually I work with an S overlay, so I don't quite know if I really need to do it like this here. So this placement inside the canvas panel. But let's just check if, yeah, okay. We see our buttons. And add to inventory. Add to inventory. When I added an item to our inventory, we need to update. We need to update. Let me just think about it. We need to update. We need to update our inventory. Okay, let's just say we have an update inventory. Update inventory. Do we actually need a reference to our pawn here? It has an inventory component, right? My character has it has an inventory component, and the inventory component, where was it here? Just have an array of items. Okay. Add item, remove item. Yeah, just add get inventory items. So inside our inventory component, I give it a new function, which is get inventory items, and it would just return out items, which is an array of item. And it will return items. Okay. Now we are able to get the items outside of our... I'm just talking to myself. I just need to think if I'm doing it a proper way or not. But I guess it should be fine now. We are always in the position to refactor things like we want to. So in player controller, update inventory, I want to get pawn, get player pawn. No, not at index. I want to get our current pawn. Get pawn, get controlled pawn by this player controller. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I want to have now. I want to cast it. No, I don't need that. Just wait a moment. I want to update inventory. This one will get an inventory items, which is also an array of items. Yeah, that's fine. And inside the third person controller. Okay, here's a little design issue, because when I want to add something to the inventory, I did it inside the item class. Okay, which is probably not a place where I would look at. So what I'm just doing is I think about if it's really right to do the adding and removing inside the interaction. Okay, let's. Yeah, I want this character here to handle this adding or removing, because maybe I want to check if the inventory is full or whatever. And when you are coming from the outside and saying, "Hey, do check if our inventory system is well made," I think you would probably look inside the character class if you want to alter something inventory component related. Okay, so let's refactor this one. And no, it's not here, it's in the activatable. And instigator. Yeah, that's cool. That's good. So when our item will notice that someone wants to interact with it, it gets the instigator. And what I want to is tell the instigator that he can add this item. Okay, so let's provide this function for the third person character. A new function. Let's say add item to inventory, which gets an input in item, and which is of type item. Yeah, this should be enough for now. And back to the item. Where was it? Here it was. So an item shouldn't really know about that the instigator has an inventory where itself can be placed into, but only the instigator is important. So let's just add this. Let's just cast to what was it called? Player controller blueprint, yeah. And if it is one, we want to call add item. Oh, it's not player controller. I'm sorry if that was a wrong cast. Player character. Where's character? Oh, basically. Oh, how is this blueprint called? Third person character. Sorry. Okay, we need to cast into a third person character. Now we should be able to call add item to inventory. Yes, that's right. What was the other one? Add item. Wow. So I guess it would now, if I choose this function here, it should be add a getter to the inventory component out of this. I expect it to add the node get inventory component, yeah, but I don't want to do this. So an item shouldn't know about an inventory at all. Add item in item is self. So, and afterwards we can set the actor hidden in game. This one, there are two ways about handling this adding item to inventory. For example, if you have some kind of pickup class, talk about the mushroom in Super Mario. When Super Mario walked over the mushroom will be destroyed because we don't need the reference of that mushroom anymore. So there is no such kind of uniqueness of a pickup. No? Because okay, even if I would add the mushroom to Mario's inventory, I don't care about if the mushroom inside Mario's inventory was the same we just picked up inside the game world. It doesn't matter at all. But so we could actually destroy the actor now. When I don't want, or when some items need some kind of uniqueness, for example, if you pick up a sword, and this sword has some kind of durability, so it is used or it is new or some kind of condition, you know, or some other values which makes this sword unique. So we need to set this sword hidden in game, add it to our inventory, and when we drop it back into the world, it is the same sword we picked up back then. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. It isn't always necessary to actually store the item reference. You can just provide a struct, for example, which holds the information of what kind of item was it, and you can always just spawn a default one if it's not important that the actual objects were the same. Okay? I hope you guys get what I wanted to say. Sometimes, yeah, you know. Okay. Add item to inventory. I guess I should make a short pause. I hope that the record wasn't a failure with a missing sound or something of it. So see you back in a minute.